What's up, YouTube? Today I'm going to be changing the compressor on a Hyundai Sonata, and if you look all the way down, that pulley you see all the way at the bottom, that's the compressor. And I'm also going to be changing the expansion valve, which is sitting right here on the firewall behind that plastic cover. So from the bottom, I took off 1/2 of the splash shield, and I took the half off by the oil pan side, which is the passenger side. Now if you look here, this is the compressor. So if you look here, you see the two lines. I got to take the lines out. They're 10mm bolts, actually 10mm nuts, and back those out, pop the lines out, and it's going to be 4 bolts that holds the compressor. It's 2 at the bottom and it's going to be 2 up top. Now the belt also has to be removed, so I'm just going to take it off the compressor. And looking up, right here is the tensioner. So I just gotta get a tool on it and loose the tension, take the belt off. Actually, I'll take it off the compressor, but in my case I'm actually gonna be replacing the belt also. But if you guys are doing it, just take it off the compressor and you take the 4 bolts out. Be very careful taking the compressor out, because sometimes the new one does not have oil in it. If it has oil, that's fine, but what I do, if it doesn't have oil, I take this out. I take the plugs from the old one, and when I take the lines out, I put the plugs in so the oil doesn't leak out, and then I pour the oil from the old one into a measuring cup, and I see how much oil came out, and then I add the same amount of oil to the new one. So that's one way. If you're not sure how much oil the compressor should hold, that's one way of doing it. If your old one has no oil and the new one has no oil, then between 3 and 4 ounces is usually good. But you could verify that by maybe contacting the dealer or look it up online to get an idea. But that's pretty much how I do it. I'm going to take the belt off, and hopefully you guys could see, but right up in there on the tensioner I have my my socket, my extension. So I'm gonna release the tension and slip the belt off this pulley so the whole thing comes loose. The belt is loose, and as you can see, I got it off the pulley, so you can spin this easily. So I'm pretty sure you could see that bolt right here. That's what I got to get to, and then the other line right below it, I got to get to that other bolt. Pretty much I got to come up in here, and it's 10 mil. I'm using a deep socket. And it might take some prying off, but it should come off. There you go. now that all the lines are disconnected, now I reach up and I get the connector, and it's just press and pull. From here I get the 4 bolts. It's 2 at the bottom and 2 up top. Now I'm going to show a trick. I'm going to take the plugs from the new compressor and put it on this old one. It just needs to be hand tight. I don't have to put the tool on it. Now this is where I got to change my angle. I got to move the camera so I could get the upper bolts. But you guys have an idea where they are. They're actually at the top. You could look from the top down and see them. Now if you look where the top bolts go in, there's a collar. So it's one on each side, one over here and one on the other side. You just got to get a big screwdriver or a pry bar, wedge it in here and just pry it out. Take all the bolts out, hold it at the bottom with one hand and pry it with the other, and you'll get it past that collar, and then the compressor should come right out. And this is the comparison. They're very close, pretty much identical. And this bolt, there's a bolt that goes right here. That's where the oil goes. See it on the new one. I drained the oil on the old one and I did not get much, just a little bit. So that could have been, maybe it had no oil, a little bit of oil. That's why it failed. So I'm actually gonna drain the oil in a different cup on the new one and see if there's any oil in it or how much oil comes out of it. So by looking at this is probably exactly why my original compressor failed. You could see the oil is all the way at the bottom of that cup. And on the new one, I drained the oil and I got roughly about 4 ounces. Maybe a little bit more than 4 actually, between 4 to 5 ounces, somewhere around there. This one, I highly doubt that's probably like 1 ounce. So that's my comparison. Now I just get a small funnel, put the oil back in the new one and mount it to the vehicle. Then I'll go ahead and change the expansion valve. The compressor is back in, bolted down, connector reconnected, lines are back in. Now I go ahead and change the expansion valve, and it's right against the firewall on the passenger side. This plastic cover covers it, so it's a 10 millimeter. And then these two are 10s, and there's one on the side here that's 12, I believe. So I just get these loose. I'm not taking it out yet, just making it loose. And this one is a 12. Take that bolt out. This allows me to pull the lines out. And this is it. These O-rings looks good. I'll see if I have these sizes and change them. If not, I'll just reuse it, but usually they're good, but I like to change them anyway. Now this one comes with this stud. This has it also, but it's in a separate bag, so just gotta put it in. And hand tied, it should be fine. And it's identical to the OEM. Same thing. Just except for this black cap. So now I put the new one on, and I just popped the cap off the old one and put it on the new one. Not super tight, but just like very snug. Now I could put the lines back in. I'm gonna keep the same O-rings. I believe I'm fresh out of these sizes, so, and there were no leaks in the system to begin with. So I'm not really worried about the O-rings. Put the cover back on. And that's it. So from here, if the belt was good, I would just go ahead and put it back on. In my case, I'm changing the belt, vacuum the system, add refrigerant, and the AC should be ice cold after that. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.